But yeah, so area I'm really interested to hear your views on is just what kind of strategies and thought process do you take into the problem solving exercise that is, okay, you've got a client here, they're identifying their scope. How do you go about, or how should organizations go about building a stack? I appreciate this is going to be very individual, but how do they make sure they include all the relevant channels and don't miss anything out?
Well, yeah, it's trying to answer a question like that is relatively complex, right? Because there are so many different the way a business is set up very much depends on how they would approach that as well. It depends on the size, the industry, what a number of things. But I
It's a bit,
suppose
I appreciate it's a bit of a meaning of life question,
it
but
it,
if you can
it
just
is a
kind of
bit.
break that down as to your instinctive framework in your head when you look at that.
Well, yeah, so when I go to clients, I have a very, very simple approach because I think this is one of the problems of our industry. And when I speak to other people within the industry, it's the same old thing. We make our services too complex for clients to understand what's going on. So what I try to do is I try to go in, and I know another number of other fantastic consultants and do the same. Is just keep it simple. Ask the simple questions first to define exactly what you want, and don't start thinking about the end solution, because I think the biggest challenge that I've always seen is that we always try to think of what is that end solution. The end solution is cost savings, right? But what does that mean? So what cost savings? Come back a few steps and just start asking yourself some basic questions, and it actually doesn't make much difference from what I said a little bit earlier, but there's 8 or 10 questions around the reasons why you're looking to purchase. You think you need something, but it's really just asking those questions. Why do you think you need to engage them? And then it's making sure that you've got the right stakeholders to make sure that you're getting those responses from them. And the challenge you have within organizations, or I've seen within organizations, is just the management of that basic task. And then what happens, and what I've seen is, again, going back to a previous discussion we had a few minutes back, is that one channel will tend to make the decisions versus all of them making them. So I don't want to make it sound too simple, Johnny, but rarely it's that. And then it's assessing those answers and then taking it to the next level. And that's where, this utopia type answer of trying to give you it is difficult. It's really about starting at a very, very basic level, asking those simple questions to the business, and then stepping that up as you go through. And it could be that you find out that the majority. And I recently worked with a client where they had what's it recently? We're talking like 8 9 months ago, where they felt they had a need to implement a vendor management software because they had major issues with contingent staffing, classification, and how they track. But actually, when we went through the process of asking basic questions, they didn't actually need a VMS. If they took a VMS, yeah, they could probably manage some of those things with it. They actually needed something to manage their services procurement at that time, right? They actually didn't go to market in the end, for specific budget reasons. But what they came out of that was realizing that, hold on a minute here, I need to shift slightly and I need to go down this angle versus trying to think about the end game, which is let's get a system to manage all things. Um, so yeah, keep it simple, Johnny. I know it sounds very basic, but I always tell my kids that, don't overthink things. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Just take things one step at a time.